There was this kid that I was working with for a while. He was an 8-year-old boy, and he loved his father. He and his father did all kinds of stuff together. They would do lightsaber battles, and his dad was a really good skier, so he was teaching this kid how to ski, and this kid was getting pretty good at it. So the mother had no problem when her girlfriends asked her to go on this long weekend down at the coast. She's like, they'll be completely fine together. And so she went on this trip, and everything was going okay, except for this one morning. This boy woke up and he was so excited about what they were going to do that day. He walks downstairs and his father is lying motionless on the couch. And this boy waited for hours. He played around his father. He tried to wake him up and he never could. And then he couldn't get a hold of his mother. Well, the father had passed away. It was some unknown heart disease or problem that had taken his life in the middle of the night. And this little boy basically spent all day in a house with his dead father. Now the mother and the son, I mean, they were devastated by this. It completely changed their life. Well, I got the opportunity to actually meet this boy when he was 11 years old. And the reason they came to see me is because the mom had been convinced by a school counselor that she should have him talk to somebody. See, he was chronically behind in his schoolwork. And he wasn't doing any chores at home. He had no friends. He was even getting picked on by the other kids. He was not socializing in any way. He was completely shutting down and isolating, and it was getting to a very unhealthy level. And you know, as I got to talking with this mother and this son, I realized that he had absolutely no responsibilities. See, basically what had happened was the mother was so devastated and so full of sorrow and felt so bad for her little boy that she could never see him in pain again. So when she would say, hey, why don't you clean up after yourself? He would get really upset and sometimes he'd start to cry. And she could not handle the fact that he was in pain. So she'd say, okay, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. Or, you know, why don't you go to scouts? Or why don't you play baseball? And he'd say, I don't want to do it. And sometimes he would get so upset, he would cry and he would run upstairs, and he had some of his father's old clothes, and he would hug those clothes and he would cry and he'd say, I just miss my daddy. I want my daddy back. And the mother felt so horrible that over the years, she basically did everything she could to protect him from pain or struggle or really anything that he ever wanted or didn't want to do. And of course, this was starting to create a bigger problem. And when I finally was able to figure out what was going on, I talked to this mother and I said, look, the very thing that you're trying to protect him from, you're causing for him. You're trying to keep him from pain, but you're creating more pain. He needs to learn to struggle. He needs to learn how to move on. He needs boundaries. He needs to be pushed. He needs to be encouraged. And you trying to protect him from this is not helping him out. So we began to work on that way that she could wrap her arms around him and say, look, I get it. I know this is hard. I know you don't want to do it, but you need to do it. You have to do it. I know you can do it. I love you. Let's go do this. And in the course of that year, things really turned around. And the reason I'm telling you that story is I see that kind of thing happen all the time. And not just because someone has passed away in a family. Sometimes it's a really ugly divorce that's happened, and the parents are feeling really bad that this kid had to listen to all that arguing or fighting and the split up of the family, so they're trying to go easy on them. They're trying to protect them. Or there's a kid who's been bullied, or maybe they have some sort of disability. Or a lot of times it's just the parent who's remembering their own pain from their own past as a child, and they don't want their kid to feel that way. So they try to protect them. And they try to keep them from all the hard and all the difficult things in life, but that doesn't work. Your kids need to struggle. Your kids need to work through things that are really hard. They need that satisfaction of knowing that they can do it. It's a part of moving on. So I'm encouraging you because it's hard to be a parent. It really is, but you are doing a great job. Keep at it, keep loving your kids, love them, give them structure, give them boundaries, don't give up, it's gonna pay off. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, you're gonna see all the videos that I've been putting out, or you can like me on Facebook, you're gonna get updates there, or you can join my email list. I got all kinds of ways you can keep up with me. Hey, you guys take care, I'm gonna go play in the snow.